Hi guys, this is Shaheer Ahmad and today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step tutorial in which I'm going to show you how you can configure SQL on-premises server and then connect it with your existing or new Canvas application. I'm going to walk you through two ways by which you can retrieve data into your Canvas application. One is retrieving the data via the Power Automate and the other one is the preview feature by which we can call the SQL store procedure directly via Canvas application. Without further ado, let's get to it. First of all, we're going to have to install our SQL on-premises, for which you're going to have to go to this URL. After going to this URL, you can just go ahead and navigate down and you can choose whatever SQL version suits you. I'm going to go with the developer one and I'm going to click on the download now button. And as soon as it downloads, I'm just going to go ahead and install it. Now the setup wizard will ask us which type of installation we want. I'm going to go with basic. Agree to the licenses terms. I'm going to go with the default location. Let's skip the download. So the download has been completed. I'm just going to go ahead and click on close. And click on yes. And then I'm just going to go ahead and search SQL on my taskbar. And then I'm going to go ahead and select the first one that pops up named SQL Server Management Studio 2009. Let's wait for it to load up. May take some time depending on your machine. It will prompt us to connect to the server. In order to connect, I will just go ahead and click on this drop down for the server name and click on browse for more. Here I'm going to expand the database engine and then I'm going to select the one with my name on it. And then I'm just going to let the authentication be Windows authentication and then I'm going to click on connect. As you can see, now we are connected to our server in which we can now go ahead and create a new database. I will just go ahead and right click on the database, click on new database. Now I'm going to go ahead and name my database. Click on OK. Here, our database has been created and now we can go ahead and create new tables. I'm just going to right click on the table, click on new, and again on table. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the schema for our table. For example, I'm going to go with an employees table. I'm going to go ahead and define the data types. Make this employee ID required, as well as the first name and the last name. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this table. I'm going to go ahead and define the name for this table. Click on OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Now our table has been created. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter a few records. I'm going to right click on our table and click on edit top 200 rows. Now I can add a few rows. Now that the rows have been added, I'm going to go ahead and create a stored procedure, which we can call via our Power Automate as well as directly from Canvas. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and click on New Query, where I'm going to define the schema for our new store procedure. Now I'm just going to go ahead and click on Execute. It has been completed successfully, and now our store procedure will have been added. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh. I'm going to go in Programmability, in which I'm going to go ahead and expand the store procedures. And here you can see our store procedure is now available. Now to test our store procedure, I'm going to go ahead and right click on the store procedure and click on Execute Stored Procedure. Here I'm going to provide a value which I want to search in our database, and then click on OK. As you can see, our store procedure has been executed successfully and it has returned one row. Now we just need to install a gateway by which we can connect our on-premises SQL Server to our Power Apps. To install the gateway, I'm just going to go ahead in my browser and search here. I'm going to find the link to download the on-premises gateway. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click on the download button and wait for this download to be completed. The gateway setup has been successfully downloaded. Now I'm just going to go ahead and install it. I'll just open the setup. I will just go with the default location and accept the terms of use and click on Install. I will give the administrator privileges, and then I'm just going to go ahead and wait for it to install. It has been installed and it will now prompt us to enter our email. I'm just going to go ahead and enter my email and click on Sign In. After authenticating our credentials, it will just go ahead and ask us if whether we want to register a new gateway or we want to migrate, restore, or take over an existing gateway. In this scenario, we're going to go ahead and register a new gateway on this computer. I'm just going to go ahead and define a gateway, a name for this gateway. I'm just going to go ahead and add a recovery key. And I'm going to go ahead and change the region. I'm going to go ahead and change it to East Asia. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Done. Click on Configure. Our gateway has been configured now, and I can just go ahead and close this. Now, for the sake of our demo, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new instance. As soon as my environment has been provisioned, I'm just going to go ahead and make.powerapps.com and make sure that my environment has been selected. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on More and click on Discover All. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down. Here you can see gateways. I'm going to click on it. And as you can see, our gateway has been listed here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and create a connection to our SQL. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead to the connections, click on new connection, and click on SQL Server. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and provide my credentials to authenticate to my server. In the authentication type, I'm gonna go ahead and select Windows Authentication. I'm gonna go ahead and provide my credentials. The username and password is the command for Windows username or password. If you are not sure what your username is, you can just go ahead inside the command prompt and type who am I. And here you can see that this is your username. You just can go ahead and copy and paste it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and provide my Windows login credentials. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click on create. I'm gonna make sure that my gateway is selected here. Now that our connection has been created, and now go ahead and create a Canvas application and retrieve our data using the stored procedure that we created. I'm gonna go ahead and navigate to the solutions. I'm gonna create a new solution. We're gonna go ahead and create a new solution. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create a new Canvas application. Create. Wait for it to load. As soon as the app has been loaded, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on save so that we don't lose any progress. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that our preview feature for calling store procedure from within the Canvas application is enabled. I'm gonna go ahead and navigate to the settings. Click on upcoming features. And click there's SQL, where you can see that SQL store procedures has been enabled. I'm gonna just go ahead and close this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add our database in our Canvas application. I'm gonna go ahead and click on add data, where I'm gonna search SQL. I'm gonna click on SQL Server. Here you can see that our server has been listed here. I'm just gonna click here. And now you will see that we will see a list of our tables as well as our stored procedures. I'm just gonna go ahead and add our stored procedure, like this, and click on collect. Now we have our stored procedure right within our Canvas application, and we can reference it to retrieve data from our SQL server. But before going to that, I'm just gonna go ahead and first retrieve the data using the Power Automate. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the flow and add a flow and click on create a new flow. I'm gonna click on create from blanks. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and create an input property to reference our search text. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a new step and search stored procedure. Here I'm going to select this connector, execute stored procedure version 2 from SQL Server. Here I'm going to have to authenticate again using the same credentials that we provided before. I'm going to select my gateway, and then I'm going to add my password and then click on create. Now the connection has been created, and I'm just going to go ahead and select the server and the database. Now I'm going to select the stored procedure that I want to call. You can see that the stored procedure that we created has been listed here. I'm just going to go ahead and select it. And then it will go ahead and load the parameters for it. Now I can reference our search text from our trigger. And now I can just go ahead and send the response with the Canvas application. I'm going to go ahead and use the response section for this. And add the body as a result cells. Let's save. Now I'm just going to go ahead and open this flow in Power Automate. Test it. As you can see, I have gone ahead and opened our flow inside make.powerautomate.com. I'm just going to go ahead and firstly rename this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and test this. I'm going to go and provide the parameter for search and click on run flow. As you can see that our flow has been run successfully. Now in order to use this flow inside our Canvas application, we're going to go ahead and define the schema of the response of this flow. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the result set from our execute stored procedure direction and edit the flow again and open the response. Click on show advanced options, and here you can see that we have a response body JSON schema. I'm just going to go ahead and generate sample, paste the JSON that we copied here and click on done. Now we're just going to go ahead and click on save. Now as this is being saved, I'm just going to go ahead back to our Canvas application. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh our flow. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and add a button to which we can call our flow. Just going to go ahead and use the clear collect function. Define a collections name. And then reference our flow. Now, if I click on this button, we should receive data from our SQL Server. As you can see, the response is inside another record. I'm just going to go ahead and click table 1. Now try again. Now we need to call data again. And as you can see, that our data from our stored SQL has been retrieved inside our Canvas application via Power Automate. And because this is our required parameter, and in search, sometimes we're going to have a blank. So we're going to go back in our Power Automate and then expand our trigger and then click on options and click on make this field optional. And after doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and expand our store procedure, and I'm gonna copy this dynamic content, and then I'm gonna remove it, and then I'm gonna go ahead, click on expressions and paste it. I'm gonna remove curly brackets and the iterator. And before the square brackets, I'm gonna go ahead and insert question mark, because sometimes you're gonna be creating null values. I'm gonna go ahead and click on save again. Now I'm gonna go back into my Canvas application where this input parameter has been shifted to optional. Now we will see an error inside our function because our schema has been changed. I'm going to go ahead and provide an object here, in which I'm going to add input property. Now our error has been resolved. As you can see, now I'm sending blank parameters. Previously, it would have returned an error. Now, if I even send a blank parameter, it will return me all the rows. Preview it. As you can see, now our all rows are being returned. So, you guys saw how we can reference Power Automate to get our data from our SQL on-premises server via a gateway. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain you guys how we can utilize the new preview feature by which we can directly call our store procedure from within the Canvas application. Created another copy of the button, and then I'm going to go ahead and modify its code. We are going to remove the code to call the flow, and we're going to change it where can I reference our database. Now we're going to go ahead and reference our store procedure. Now we're going to define our parameters. Now, in the response, we're saying that we are retrieving the result sets again. So now we'll go ahead and replace the result sets. So as you can see now, this is an untyped object. So now we're gonna go ahead and use the type constructors. I'm gonna just go ahead and add a for loop. Find the result sets, and by looping through these, I'm gonna go ahead and define its schema just like we do it when we are passing a JSON Canvas application. I'm going to go ahead and use every column and into the type constructor. Now, B and paste this. Because employee ID is a geo ID, I'm gonna go ahead and use the geo ID type constructor. And now we should be able to directly retrieve data from our SQL Server using the store procedure. I'm going to go ahead and select this button. We have received an error. I'm sorry, I forgot to add our table. I'm going to go ahead and reference table. Now, I'm going to try it again. So this time, we retrieved no error. And if I click on this whole data and preview it, as you can see now, we are retrieving data from our SQL Server using the store procedure directly within Canvas application without using Power Automate. Now we can also add a gathering to view our data. As you can see, now whether we retrieve our data from Automate or Canvas, we are able to retrieve both ways. Hope you found this tutorial useful, and make sure to like and subscribe and share it.